All righty then. Just a question, Amy, do I still need to read the little dialogue at the beginning, or are we?
You can abbreviate it and basically say that this meeting is just being held remotely.
Okay, this open meeting of the Revitalization Trust Fund is being held remotely. And all people who are in attendance at this time are Zooming in. So why don't we get started? And we'll, we do have to, we normally would vote to accept the January 19th minutes. Right at the moment, we're waiting for one more person for the quorum. So we will hold that off until later, and hopefully we'll be able to take care of that right at the end. As far as number one goes, or I should say number two, updates on the MAPC working group between, Amy and I, who were at the last meeting. Amy, do you want to sort of kick this off? Because it's kind of your baby.
Sure. So to follow up on the introduction we had with Abby Judd of MAPC at the last meeting, the working group for the Arts and Cultural Plan had a meeting last Friday in Powers Hall, and we're moving forward with plans to engage the public and the community. Basically, it's going to be a survey. It's also going to be forums or focus groups, rather. So looking for some opportunities to have, pop-ups at various arts and cultural kind of activities and programming around town to be able to publicize that. The group is also working on a visioning statement to encompass sort of what the vision is for arts and culture in Needham. So that will also be shared with the greater community to get feedback on that. So it's a work in progress. We're basically about a third of the way through this sort of year-long process, which will wrap up in the fall.
And one of the things I thought was great at the meeting was that they went through actually a series of exercises with us where one of them was basically trying to be able to set priorities as to what people thought that was the most important, and we basically got to fill out. We had Post-it notes for the original pieces, and then when we wanted to work on priorities, they gave us these different dots which had different levels of priority, and it was just an interesting process that they used to be able to collect the information from the whole group. One of the other things that's coming up also is that there's the Multicultural Fair, which is coming up on March 19th. And I was speaking with Veronica, and there's just an amazing number of of nationalities being represented in this, and absolutely something that if any of us can go, and I will definitely go to it. Just to be able to experience what it's going to be like, and also the diversity that we have within our own town, which I think oftentimes doesn't really get as recognized. So it's certainly one thing to be able to talk about multiple cultures, but if you can get a group of people who are all from these different backgrounds in one place, you get to really get a perspective of what your community looks like. And obviously, our hope is that we will, as a community, be known for being able to have more and more, people from all different backgrounds and areas that, basically will feel very comfortable being in Needham and being an integrated part of the community. So, yeah, it was great. Any other thoughts in terms of anyone, or in terms of anything else to add on that, Amy?
Nope.
All righty. Well, let's go on to the update on the webpage. Back to Amy again, but which is a thank you. She swapped out a graphic on the front page of our page on the town website, which now links up to a sign up box for the newsletter. So that's in place. We also got the askus@ncrtf.org email set up so that that's also operating, and that's clearly spelled out there on the screen. And the next piece of the puzzle, which I'm pulling together the information for now, is the page that Amy's going to build for us on our area that will basically be the follow-up for all the From Needham to the World murals. So you'll be able to, basically starting at the beginning, and that's why I want to get this done, within the first 2 or 3, right? So we have a little bit of content to get there, and then every successive one, we can just load the next one in, and each one would have a little explanation and some information on it, and also, of course, promote being able to have people sponsor the From Needham to the World mural going forward. So that, as soon as I get the graphics and some of the text over to Amy, then she'll add that onto her page too. So we'll have that as another piece of the puzzle that's put in place. So let's see. The update on the postcard mailing is that basically I've got a postcard just about ready to go as far as the graphic design goes and the setup. And the mission is to be able to get the postcard sent out by the end of February. So we start to get, as we're moving into the spring, we'll have hopefully a larger and larger mailing list to be able to keep in touch with people. And I'll get the exact cost, but it's someplace around the $150 range. We're going to just mail out to about 100 people for the first one. And so the cost actually may be less than that, because we're going to obviously only mail 100, because we wanted to get a sort of a first shot over the bow and see how it's successful, and see if there's anything else we need to tweak on the card before we mail it out to the rest of the people that we start to accumulate on the list, and ones we've been entering in to the system. So I put out the request again that if any of you can give me a hand with getting the adding these ones that we have just the mailing addresses for into the system, that I can easily teach you how to be able to do that, and you can do it remotely. I could give you we could meet up, give you a list of the addresses that need to go in, and then show you how to be able to just put them into this so that we get them updated. So anyway, but that's the thing right at the moment. We have 100 names in the system, so we'll be able to get the postcard out and and go from there. Let's see. So update on Tiger Okoshi. This is a really cool thing. And a first for us. Of course, we've only done 3 of these now, so there are going to be a lot of firsts that are happening. But I spoke with Tiger. He's an absolutely wonderful, incredibly positive, great to work with person, and he just loves what he does. And so he wrote me back in an email the other day, because I had asked him if he could send us some high resolution pictures, because we're always looking for the high res images for this, and as Jessica knows, and so he started sending pictures, and then he got into it, and he was like, "Oh, and what about this? And oh, what about this?" And I've got like I must have 30 or 40 different images that we're trying to be able to trying to work with and sort down, because we can only use maybe a dozen images. Otherwise, it's going to be cluttered. It's got to be a very easy to consume presentation. But the other piece of it, and Seymour has been working on some of the iterations. So and very shortly, I should have, hopefully by early next week, I should have an iteration that I can send out to the committee for you all to take a look at. He also connected us with a video that is actually out on YouTube of him conducting this incredible band of Japanese players and just a whole variety of instruments that basically he used to open up one of the championship games at Fenway Park. And so it's a very cool video. So we've got the video to link to. I had asked him if there were any videos that he thought of that were near and dear to him that he would like to be able to have associated with it, and that's the one he sent over. So I'll get that linked up to the QR.
That's his wife? Oh.
That's what?
Who are you speaking of? The wife?
No, it's talking about Tiger. That Tiger Okoshi has when he performed at Fenway Park.
Yeah.
In the national anthem, he had brought in an entire diverse band of
okay.
Japanese players.
Okay.
And it's quite a thing. So
Yeah.
So that'll be great. One of the things that also he was very excited about is I said, so what date would you like to be able to do this ceremony? Because obviously we'd love to be able to have you there. And so he got back to me a day or two ago and said March 19th would be great. And he said at like 2:00 in the afternoon. And he said the reason I'd like to do that is because I have people who are coming from Japan on the 18th who would really like to be able to attend this celebration. And so, will that work? And I said, yeah, I'll talk with the committee, but as far as I can tell, it will. The thing I haven't told him also is that literally across the street is going to be the multicultural fair going on at the same time that this is going. So one of the things that I was going to ask you, Amy, is any thoughts on it? Because my only concern, and the timing is really the timing because he's got his friends coming from Japan. But my only concern is we're on a small sidewalk and he wrote me, he goes, oh yeah. And I want to let the people from the Japanese consul know, and the people at Berkeley, and he's going down this list of people like, oh, okay, this is really cool, but I'm not sure how we're going to handle all these people if they actually show up. So I was looking for some insights from you, Amy, as to what did you
How are you going to handle this?
Because I'm going to speak with him tomorrow, and I already put a call into him. Said, hey, can we talk about some of the details here? Because I just wanted to say we can't make this too big because we can't actually handle it. But what are your thoughts in terms of?
So I just want to confirm that the day of the multicultural fair is Sunday, March 19th. This is the same day?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you said the 18th.
No.
I would say, as we get closer to the date, if you feel like there's going to be a lot of people there, what I could do is just see if there's any possibility of getting a police detail.
Yeah.
Maybe, or at least, having, a police car parked on Chapel Street, just to sort of slow the traffic down. Let me throw this by the police department and see what they say. But I think, generally speaking, you don't request a detail, any more than a week out, unless it was like, a big event like a parade or something and streets are going to be closed. But why don't we just keep in touch and you give me a better sense as to how many people you think are going to end up attending. And it's, generally speaking, it's pretty short program, isn't it? It's about, it's 15 minutes, half hour tops, maybe. Okay. So it could be that they just send an officer over and are aware of sort of the extra crowd on the sidewalk, just wanted to make sure that everybody is safe and that no one's sort of spilling over into a busy street. So why don't we just keep in touch and talk about the details as this moves forward?
Okay. I mean, it's a great problem to have, but this is but the fact that the multicultural event is going on at the same time means the parking is going to be tight. And, I just wanted to make sure we were, had an awareness that with both these things happening, even though this one is brief, that they are right within the same time slots, because I think it's 1 to 5 for the multicultural festival, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I'll double check that.
I think that's what it is. So anyway, so that's very exciting. And so that's moving forward piece by piece. All the sponsors, I delivered the invoices to all of them during last week, so that that part of the puzzle is already in progress. The sponsors are the James, French Press, Cafe and Bakery, the Hearth. So Hearth is one of them. And then the fourth one is Needham Music and Dance. So, and I think that's really, a fun, exciting thing also, because when you've got all these restaurants are all have a focus on music. Like Hearth, tries to be able to have regular live music. In fact, actually, my music instructor is playing there this Sunday from 5 to 6. And then she's going to have a bunch of her students also perform. So, that's really part of the sort of the commitment to all of this. And she works out of Needham Music. So you get Hearth, you get Needham Music, and a bunch of performances from people, who are taking lessons there. So that's really cool. The James always has a focus on music indoors and outdoors. And so does the French Press. I think it's just exciting to be able to get more recognition of the people who are really trying to bring an extra element to their businesses. And, depending on what happens with snow in the next 4 or 5 weeks, that it's, a lot of people are starting to think about spring. Hence me, of course, wearing my, Hawaiian shirt. So today, I think it's a lot of really cool stuff that's really coming along. Let's see what we have. Let's see. Update on the Charles River cleanup. I spoke with Karis, and she is actually going off on vacation for a week. But as soon as she gets back, she's going to set up a date for us sometime in April to work with probably Park and Forestry to be able to do to have the organization date for doing the Charles River Street cleanup. And, as soon as we have that specific date, then we will get in touch with the schools and help them rally to be able to get a group of volunteers for that date. And we'll go out and clean up Charles River Street. So, and one of the ideas with this is, of course, to be able to make this so that it gets set up as an annual event. So it doesn't have to be basically, reconstructed every year. So that's the understanding we're, working on, and everyone has been quite receptive with being able to, to do that type of thing. And we just have to get it organized to do it. So this will be the first shot over the bow. And let's see. Marcus said he didn't have any updates on any of the grant applications yet. So we will tune in next month for that. And update on newsletter stats. Our open rate for our newsletter is like 63%. So it's definitely getting read, which is fantastic. And obviously the larger the group of people that we are reaching out to. Right now, we reach out to about 65. And by the time we launch when we do the postcard mailing, that my hope is that by the end of the month after we put out the postcards, that we'll be of the 100 that we send out for the postcards, that my hope is it will be, hopefully easily over 100 people who have, meaning another 40 plus people that will have signed up via the postcard. So, that we will see as we do it, but that's really the status of that. And Mary Ruth is going to work on being able to continue to make more connections for getting the newsletter distributed to different groups and organizations.
Paul, I can't recall if the newsletter was ever highlighted in the town's newsletter.
Yes. And it was the previous one that Cindy added to it. And she's now on the mailing list, of course. So as we do each one, she'll receive it.
Okay.
So that's, and when the one in February, I should say the one at the end of January would have gone to her too. Although I was traveling a bunch of that week where I didn't know, I didn't see whether the timing of it was such that she was able to put it into whatever the current, output was from her in terms of the town newsletter. But we'll have to go back and check to see if that's there. But if not, even if she, we're able to enter it now, it's still current. So it's actually talking about the Ridge Hill mural, and there's a video with it that explains it and all that. So,
okay.
Yeah. If it, in fact, I was going to say, if you find out that for some reason she didn't get it, or I mean, I don't want to put her in the position of thinking that every time we put this out that she's, feeling obligated to have to pass it on. But obviously we'd love for her to be able to do that every time she gets an opportunity, and it works for her. So if you get any feedback on, what works for her, and whatever type of expectation we should have, just so we can, set that, then that would be great. All right. And Jessica, do you want to talk a little bit about Life is Good?
Sure. So I put together a few weeks ago a profile of the Jacobs brothers, John and Bert, who started the Life is Good company, grew up here in Needham, graduated from Needham High School. So I did put a profile together, and I actually meant to circulate it before tonight's meeting, but I will circulate it so everybody can read it. It's a pretty good story. It's a nice story, actually. I mean, they really kind of built it out of nothing. And they're interesting. I tried to get some photos. As Paul knows, photos are a little more challenging with them. There were a few online that were clearly like professionally done and, downloadable. A lot of the older photos that I thought were really great. I'm not sure about the quality of them. It looks almost like one of their friends took a picture and they, stuck it into a article that's online or whatever, but they're really cute. I mean, they're pictures of they're selling t-shirts out of a storage facility. They're selling t-shirts, on the street. They actually, I went to the library and found their yearbooks from the years they graduated. So I took pictures, the Needham High School yearbook. I took pictures of the pictures. Not sure if we can get a better version than that. It would be great if we could. I actually found Charlie Baker too in his yearbook. So I thought that would be kind of a nice addition if we can do that. So the photos are a little more challenging for that reason. But I think the profile came out pretty well. I think it's a pretty compelling story. They're very photogenic. It'll look nice, I think. It's the only question that's kind of stuck out there is whether we're going to be able to get enough good quality photos. And they may have something better in their possession if we ask them, but it was a little challenging. I found some great photos, but in terms of what's on them, but the quality is a little more challenging. So that's where we are with that.
I was going to ask, has anybody reached out to them to ask for the photos directly?
Yeah.
That's, I was going to suggest I have a telephone number for them, and this is your baby, so I was going to just pass that on to you, and you can give them a call and see if just tell them what we're doing, and that we'd love to get some great photos, and are there high resolution versions of those photos that we can
Mhm.
try to be able to do this. I would expect that they would be happy to do it. So that's from the dealings that I've had with Bert and John, and in the past, and also the helpfulness they've had in terms of other things that we've contacted them with. I'm sure they must have archives that have a number of things, including being able to get some high resolution images of the images that are put on the t-shirts.
The other thought I had, Jessica, is somebody if you even just went the route of contacting Life is Good corporate headquarters and just asked whoever their media contact is and just explain, because it's great publicity for the company.
Mhm.
I'm sure they could probably even just email you. I'm sure they have lots of good photos in digital that they could probably just email you.
Mhm.
Another route if trying to reach them personally is not successful.
Oh, no, and then actually I didn't mean to imply that, because I have a telephone number for the corporate office, and there is a media person, and she's been incredibly helpful in the past. I believe it's still the same person, and once you reach out to her, then if you need any additional support or whatever, just let me know. But,
Okay.
They are also related to Mike Heffernan's family.
yes, yeah, they're his nephews.
Yeah,
Oh.
and that-
So, which is actually the way that I first met them.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, to-
He'd tell me stories about how they would push each other out of bunk beds and all kinds of
Yeah.
good stuff.
Right.
Well, that's great. So I will. I'll email you the telephone number that I have.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you have any more questions or need additional contact information, just let me know.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
All righty. And the update on the Dave DeChico bench, the coach bench, it's ordered. And basically the only thing to say is that sometime in April, we hope that they will have built it and shipped it. So that's really what we're waiting for. I was also contacted by another person who I think I mentioned in the last meeting, is interested in doing another bench, hopefully at Greens Field. And, as we're making our way through trying to replace all of the
The wooden ones there. Yeah.
wood slat benches that are there. So potentially, if that comes to fruition, they were going back to their family to be able to talk about it. And if that comes to fruition, then we could be doing 2 this year, and maybe more, depending. Sometimes when we've done 1 in a place, that when they go and tell all their friends, that other people in town reach out and say, hey, could I do something like that? One of the things that they had inquired about, and just to give you the follow-up on it, is that people have said, well, do they need people to donate to be able to put benches back on the town common? And I said, my expectation is that the design that they have for the town common is the design that will be fully implemented as they have designed it. So there wouldn't be any additional benches put onto the town common other than what's been designed for it, for probably a few years anyway. So I went to Ed and just confirmed that was the case, and he said yes. He said, basically the way when we reveal it to the town, we'll basically stay that way for for a number of years until they decide to make any tweaks or additional things to it. So as far as doing celebration benches on the town common, that basically is not an option for at least the foreseeable future. But we have Greensfield, and there probably, I think there are a couple of more places in the Heights Common, although a number of the benches that were on the town common, especially if people ask you, are now in the Heights Common. So one of the things I have to do in the next month or two is to actually go up to the Heights and record all the benches,
Yeah.
so I know
Yeah.
where that collection of benches are and see if there are any that we still have to track down. That's the scoop with that. Yeah, that's basically the agendas that I have down. Anything else?
I have something.
Yes.
One of my daughters called town hall, and I don't know what she did. She doesn't live in Needham now anymore. Born here and went to school here. And she said, I couldn't find the Needham Revitalization Trust Fund. And so I wondered, she said, whether, people know that, we have the trust fund there, and that it's worthy of being, given to it. And I think they probably say, well, we don't have a place here or something like that. Do you know anything about that, Paul?
Well, was she calling to basically just make a phone call to the Revitalization Trust Fund, or what was she inquiring about it? Obviously, we're on
she
the
was-
web, so you just is the question about if someone calls for the Revitalization Trust Fund, what do they tell them?
Right. That was her question. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that because obviously I have not done that myself. But
No, I haven't either.
Amy, do you have?
I would imagine, I mean, I can confirm this tomorrow and speak to the folks that answer the phone in the town manager's office, but generally speaking, I think they would be referred to the website to get more information on NCRTF, or if they had a specific question, I think they would probably be transferred to me. I don't think that they would give out your phone number, Paul.
Well, they actually, when they've gotten inquiries directly, they have said, just leave me your contact information.
Yeah.
And then we'll reach out to the chair, and
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing that they normally do. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and I mean, in the
phone number is secret though, because it's out on everything we print. So, but that's the way that it has normally been, and it works well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested in what Amy find anything.
Yeah, I mean, lots of times when we get inquiries for people trying to reach somebody on a town committee, I mean, the majority they're all volunteers. So, it's with the caveat being that we can pass along contact information. We'll give out, if it's a public email address, or, on the NCRTF's webpage, it just says ask us at ncrtf.org. It's right there. There's a link to it. If you double click, it'll bring you right to your mail program to send an email. But for the most part, town hall serves as sort of, we'll pass the information along, or you can even go on. There's contact us form on the town's website that gets distributed directly to the committee that you're trying to reach. But there aren't phone numbers for committees generally listed, simply because there are volunteers that are on all of these committees, elected officials and volunteers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I know that if the call comes into Louise, she reaches out to me.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people, I would say, certainly Nikki, and
Nikki left about a year and a half ago. So
no, I know, but but any of the things that, well, she's now in the finance department.
Yes,
So as far as we're concerned, she hasn't really left because we still work with her.
right, right.
But we've got, there are several people who tend to, and obviously, if, Miles answers the phone, they know how to reach me. So I think just if they just basically collect the information, if the process is that, somebody calls, just like with any committee, they would just collect the information and then reach out. And actually when the one for the new bench that I'm talking about, that's exactly what they did, is that they had called town hall, and then they contacted me and said, hey, we've got this person who's interested in being able to do a celebration bench. And here's their information.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Hi guys, sorry I was late. My last meeting ran late and I just got back to my office, so I jumped on. Hopefully I didn't miss anything.
Well, actually, it's
Good to see
Yeah,
everybody.
Great, we can vote.
You just give us a quorum. So
Nice. Yes.
we do two things. One is we can vote to approve the January 19th minutes.
Okay, good.
Right. So I would like to propose a vote to accept the minutes of the January 19th, 2023 meeting of the Revitalization Trust Fund. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Eric. Let's say, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and Jessica's in the background there, so we'll, in a second, we will just have her say aye, and we'll be good to
Then
go.
we'll be done.
So if you can just,
Sorry, that was a call from a family member. I really had to take it. Sorry.
we are 2/3 to the acceptance of the minutes. Do you accept the minutes?
Yes. Aye.
Aye,
Yes.
okay. All right, so minutes are officially accepted. The second is basically that we have an estimated for the expense for the postcard mailing to basically to not exceed $150 for our original one. Hopefully it'll be less than that. But we wanted to be able to vote to make the expenditure of up to $150 for our postcard mailing. So I also propose that as a vote. And do we have any questions about that? Or and if not, a second?
So that's just 150 that comes out of our donated funds to take care of mailing.
Yes.
Aye.
I second.
Yes.
Aye. All right. So that's been approved also. Any things that we want to be able to just make sure we get Eric up to speed on in a brief summary? Any things that you think we may need to? I mean, basically, the quick recap is that we have about a 63% open rate on our email. That the MAPC working group met last Friday. It was a terrific meeting with a lot of participation. One of the things that's happening along connected with that is the Multicultural Festival that's happening on March 19th. One of the things that's also happening on March 19th is the dedication for the Tiger Okoshi new profile.
Yeah.
And he had requested, because he has people who are actually coming over from Japan to be with him, who would like to be able to go to the event, as well as people that he would like to reach out to at Berkeley and some of the other contacts and the console and things like that, that we're basically looking to be able to make sure that we manage, get a feel for how many people might show up to honor him.
Did you say 319?
Yes, 319.
Okay, thank you.
2:00 in the afternoon is when he requested that we do it.
Okay.
And that the multicultural event is from 1 to 5. Across the street, literally.
Sure.
So that's one of the things we're working on, and we're going to update Amy when we have a better feel of how many people may be standing on the sidewalk to do the dedication.
Yeah.
Will they have the fences down across the street at the center by then?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Those are going to be up, I believe, until April 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Charles River cleanup. I spoke to I basically spoke to DPW, who was speaking to Park and Forestry, and basically in about a week and a half, we should have a date in April to be able to organize around for attracting volunteers to help do the cleanup on Charles River Street. So we're moving forward on that. And there were no updates as far as grant application goes. Jessica gave us an update on Life is Good and the contents she put together there. And she's going to be reaching out to Life is Good, the company, to be able to see if she can get high-res images and so on to be able to help with those. And the Dave DeChico bench is in progress and should be in sometime by the end of April. So there you go. Short version.
Excellent.
We just did. So
Thank
anything
you.
else?
I apologize for being late.
Yeah. Anything else I left out? Anybody needs to chime in on?
Next meeting date?
Alrighty.
We have March 16th, 23rd, and 30.
Well, I'd say if we could, if March 23rd works, that would be after both the multicultural event and the profile dedication, which means we'd have, all the updates for that, already behind us. So
Right.
Does the 23rd of March, let me just check also.
I'll be actually traveling that week for work, but I could potentially log in. I'm going to be in Europe that week, but I could potentially log in depending on the timing, or I may just need to miss the 23rd, but I'm here 16 or 30, but don't work, around me, obviously.
What about anyone else? Jessica? Carol?
I'm fine with either.
The 16th and the 23rd are okay for me. The 30th actually might be difficult. So, but whatever works for the majority is fine.
All right.
16 works best.
Well, I guess does the 16th work for both of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But to your point, if you want to wait until after that event, maybe 30th is better. Completely up to you.
Yeah, I think but Jessica, you said the 30th is out for you, right?
I don't know if it's completely out, but it just looks like a tough day, but I can certainly do my best to try to, join you. It's just it's a very busy work day, and I don't really know when everything is going to wrap up, but we can certainly make it that date, and I'll make every effort to join you at 5 if I can.
Okay. Well, any preference for you, Amy?
No,
Carol?
I'm fine, but whatever works.
Let me just check the 30th.
if you have it the 30th, is that if you've been having it the third
Yeah,
Thursday every month, if you push it out 2 weeks, then it sort of reduces the amount of time that you have before your next meeting. That's
fair.
only.
yeah. I think maybe we should, I think the 23rd, if we can, will be the best date. And if Eric, you are available, that's great.
Yeah, I'll be 5 hours ahead, so maybe I'll just stay up late that night and join you guys and inform you how the weather is in France. But that's fine. Honestly, it's fine.
So you'll show up with a glass of wine and a baguette and
Maybe. Yes. A baguette and cheese. Yes.
all right. Well, why don't we say then the 23rd? Because I think in terms of keeping as close to the third Thursday as we can.
Yeah.
Is good, is obviously really good, and it will give us basically all the information that happens from the March 19th profile gathering. So, and when Amy, when is the next meeting? I don't have it in front of me. The next meeting of the MAPC working group.
That's not going to be probably the summer.
Oh, okay. So we're a couple of months.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, great. So let's say that March 23rd.
Paul, I'm also going to email you offline regarding some of the numbers that I've been getting back for the wall mural. I'm going to put everything, I've been kind of chasing some numbers and dialing down some stuff over there, and I'm going to put everything into a spreadsheet and send it to you.
Are you talking about the art gallery or
The art gallery, correct.
Yeah.
And then that's what we have as of today, at least on my end. And then if things need to get, reworked in 3 to whatever, several months, when we're ready to pull a trigger, then that's fine. We can do that.
Okay. That'd be great. Because it's obviously important that we make sure we're staying within the numbers that we expected.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoke to a mason, I've spoke to 2 electricians, and then I spoke to Marcos, who we've worked with previously about actually hanging the frames and things like that. I think he's probably a good fit because he already sort of knows what we do. So I'm obviously just trying to drill down and get our best pricing. It's just difficult to have someone price something that may be 6 months out. So I'm just trying to commit them to something, and then we can sort of tighten the ratchet when it comes time.
Okay. One of the other things I was going to mention too also is that we're going to test a new material for the From Needham to the World insert.
Great.
One of the things, the mural looks very nice, but when you go from cold to hot, that you get some, a little bit of wrinkling and that kind of from it expanding and contracting. So
look into the magnet.
Well, we actually, better than that is, again, because we went to the 4x8 format, that there's actually a rollable, but rigid foam core board.
Oh, wow.
That can be printed on directly. And I was talking with the owner of Speed Pro the other day, and he said, this might be a really great solution, because I said before, if we were looking at rigid boards, it's like, okay, then how do we store it?
Right.
He said, well, this particular technology can be actually rolled up. So he said,
and it fits within the clips that we have on the sides currently.
Well, the thing is, you basically cut. One of the things we're doing for the art gallery anyway was going to use a rigid panel,
right,
for each one of the things. And the way these frames are designed is you can either have the vinyl overlap on the underside lip edge.
Yep.
Which has like a contact stripper on the outsides, because as you've experienced when we put one up, to be able to hold it for a vinyl, or you just trim in a little bit further and it actually drops right into the inside.
Recesses all the way in. That's nice. Okay.
And the overlaps drop over the top. So from the beginning, we've always had those 2 options. It was just that this was the least expensive way, and we felt that it was going to do a very nice job. But if we can make it better, obviously, I think the difference in cost is about $50.
That's a no-brainer, especially in this climate when we've got severe heat and severe cold. It's
yeah. So
definitely.
we're going to do that as an experiment on this profile for Tiger, and see how it comes out.
Cool.
So that's exciting. One other little tidbit is that one of the lamps that are installed in the alleyway where the Willett and Chadwick Cole mural is, got basically spun off
Oh,
with the wind. We occasionally have banners, that obviously when we get these high winds, sometimes it will snap off a pole. One of those did happen on Chestnut Street, but we got that taken down. It had literally snapped off one of the flexible nylon poles in the mount. So whatever wind came down there, it was pretty intense. It's the only one it's happened on, but that's that was one of the things. But the way these metal fixtures are put together, they actually thread onto a threaded pipe that overhangs, and there's a set screw that goes into the side to hold it in place. But if that set screw from vibration or whatever gets backed out a little bit, then
It's loose.
yeah, it could start to wobble a little. And if the wind picks up, it can actually unscrew it. So I now have the top of the piece in my possession, and we're going to see if we can straighten out a little bit of the denting that happened when it fell, and then we'll be just contacting an electrician to be able to just put the wires back together to put it together. There's no hazard from it, but we're going to it basically needs a couple of wires just refed from the junction box back up into the fixture again, spun back on, and then the set screws on all of them tested to make sure that they remain tight.
Mhm.
So that's it. In fact, it didn't even damage the actual cover on the bulb itself, which was fantastic. And
yeah.
we just straighten it out a bit and have it all back in service. That's all I've got.
What, are we still on Zoom past, was it
May.
May?
So the governor's executive order for Zoom or remote meetings is set to end at the end of March, but it remains to be seen whether or not that is going to be extended. So we
Okay.
will still make the deadline. So our March 23rd meeting will still be held via Zoom, but it's anybody's guess right now what might happen. So certainly keep it posted.
And
Right.
just for information's sake, is this can the who sets, is something that can only be set by the state? Is that true, or is it something that the individual towns can decide to do with their committees?
No, I believe it's the state because it's the open meeting law.
Mhm.
So it has to do with that. So there was a special exception made during what they considered, was the emergency health crisis to allow bodies to meet remotely. And of course, it's, this has been debated several times and they kind of keep kicking the can down the road as far as what to do about this. But certainly I think it is increased public engagement because people are able to participate that they might not have before if they couldn't physically go to a meeting. And it's certainly very convenient for volunteers to be able to jump on a computer and, from the comfort of their office or their home and participate and support the town in a way that they might not be able to otherwise. So, there's definitely a lot of support for continuing it, but I think at this point, we just have to wait and see how it all falls out. So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, and is there anything that we need to do in terms of, contacting the representatives to be able to?
No, I appreciate the creative thinking on that front, but at this point, I think, there's been tremendous support for being able to continue remote meetings. So I'd be surprised if it's not continued in some way, shape, or form. So.
All right. Well, I guess we'll tune in April.
Yeah,
Or-
I'll keep you posted as soon as anything is announced. I'll let you know.
Very good.
Say tune in March because I'm sure that they will have had to do something in March to be able to perpetuate whatever they want to do or create whatever form they have. So, all right.
All right.
Any questions, Eric? Since you jumped in at the end. Thank goodness, because you saved us a lot of time with the.
No, again, I apologize for being late, and I don't have any questions at this point. If so, I'll follow up via email with anything. And like I said, I'll reach out to you on the sidebar as well.
All right, and I'll send Jessica the telephone number for Life is Good. Reach out to them, and we'll continue on. And obviously, if you have any questions,
So the new dedication is the 19th at 2 p.m.
yes.
Okay, cool.
Does that work for all of you?
Yeah, I haven't been able to get to one yet, and it's like I feel like I should have been. So like I want to make sure that this happens. So
Well, that's great. Well, I
I
will.
make it happen.
I was going to say, so I might be giving you a call when we go to put the new insert in.
Yeah, listen, I'm available. I'm right down the road, so anytime, let me know.
That sounds great. All right. Well, then, if there's anything else for you, Amy,
No.
no. Okay. Well, then I would say that we've basically completed the meeting of the Revitalization Trust Fund, and I would put it out to a vote to close the meeting of the Revitalization Trust Fund for February. And do we have a second?
Yes, we do.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Yes.
Thanks so much. Have a lovely evening and a really fun weekend.
The time is what, Amy?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Oh, my goodness.
This is
Okay.
awesome.
Who knows?
On the dot.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.